Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, Jenny Hornig. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being with us today. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. It's a great day. How
Oh
are
my
you?
gosh, fabulous. It's a Friday. We love recording on Fridays, and we're so grateful to have you here. Everyone, I'd like to introduce you to By SheShe. Wait till you learn about this company. I want the world to know about you. You guys are quite the talent. Can you share with everybody your partnership, your company, how you started, and what you do, Jenny? I'd love for you to share the story.
Sure. So I am one of the she's in SheShe. My business partner, Kate Worum, she has a background in illustration. And I have a background in architecture and interior design. So
Mm.
post breakup, we kind of combined forces and we're really there for each other as friends and as like creative energy, a release of creative energy for each other. And we created SheShe. It was kind of started on a whim, kind of as a project for us just to have something to distract us. And we had these big hopes and dreams, and they actually came true for us. Um, we are a print and pattern studio, but we specialize in wallpaper and fabric. We are extending our primary goods into like the home goods world. So we've done some pajamas. We're going to be releasing a line of pillows here shortly. The goal when we started the company was just kind of to cover the world in art, as well as to have a life full of love, travel, and art. So as we've continued to grow our company, we keep those three things in mind, and we're trying to focus mainly on home goods as opposed to, focusing on splashing the pattern on like, I mean, we've been asked to do all sorts of things,
Yeah, I know.
but
We'll talk about
for
it, some of it, because it's really cool. It's really cool. Like in the world of creative, you're probably one of the most creative platforms I've ever met. And I've met a lot over the last 20 plus years.
oh, thank
I mean,
you.
this creation back here was a 3 hour session with these two lovely ladies. And out of that came this art, which can be hand painted, or I'm going to have you explain to them how you print to print generation and what this product is. We'll just start with that, all the way to we're going to talk a little bit about Kate Daly and a creation you did for a fundraising event, to some of the beautiful, beautiful wallpaper you've created for every kind of, um, from, all price points of homes. Just inspirationally, the ideas that come pouring out of you are amazing. So let's start with this. I met you ladies and I really wanted to do something special at the homestead. And we sat down for 3 hours and we did a creative. Explain to them how you do that. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, we call it our ideation session, and it's the first step in our process. And essentially, we just like to get to know the client better. We're a little kooky at times, we like all of our patterns to have extreme meaning. I mean, if we make a pattern full of polka dots, like, we have to infuse like specific colors that mean specific things. We don't like just to have um we like to have meaning. We're emotional people.
Right.
Um, so our get to know you sessions, our ideation sessions, we literally just sit down with the client and we want to listen to stories about their lives. And, um, we tell stories about our lives. And it's kind of this bonding moment where, because of the relaxed energy that we try to put out and the comfort that we like to exude, little tokens get brought out. So instead of it just being like, well, this is like kind of a farm, so let's do a farm related thing. It's like, well, why the chicken? Why that specific flower?
Right.
Uh, so we just kind of chat and take notes, and at the end, we usually have anywhere from like 2 to 5 really great ideas that we then go down the path of exploring.
So then the artistic component of it, how does that work? Are you like freehanding it on paper, or where are you creating your vision? How does that work?
It really depends on what we want the final pattern to look like. A lot of things are done on iPads. A lot of things are done like sketching with pencil. A lot of things are done with watercolors. Yeah, I mean, we've done all different sorts of mediums to create the final product. It's really not, we don't have one standard path.
Hmm. So then, in this case, I opted to go with a wallpaper product. And this carries through to everything you've done. So we'll use this experience, this process. The wallpaper's so flipping cool. It came on these giant rolls. Tell everybody about this. And it's recycled material. So cool.
Yeah, so we custom print per room when we have a custom design. So we're not like ordering rolls of wallpaper and then you have a lot of waste. So we just, take the elevations of your space and then print panels to fit it perfectly. Um,
Amazing.
and we can do it on all sorts of different substrates, which is fun to explore too.
So explain what that means to the audience that doesn't know. Yeah.
No, the wallpaper lingo that I'm so used to saying.
Yeah.
Um, So a substrate is just the type of paper it's printed on. So we can print it on, a standard mat. We can print it on a commercial grade so that you could put it in a bathroom with like a steam shower kind of a
Okay,
thing.
cool.
We can print it on raw silk or grass cloth or like a paper weave, like almost linen feeling paper. We can print metallic. So those are examples of all of our different substrates that people can explore or
Very
have this
cool. Yeah.
on.
How in the world do you make a decision when you're a client in front of a creative like that, like you? How do you do that? How do you make the decision? How do
I,
people know what
we
they
help
want? Yeah. How
um,
does it work when you're hand drawing? Because I've watched you do that. It's amazing.
on the wall.
When you're painting on the wall. Yeah.
I mean, that's like it's a big project,
Yeah.
and we taught it to ourselves just based off of troubleshooting. I mean, the walls in our homes were definitely, guinea pigs for a while.
That would be super fun for you to videotape that. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, just so people can see. You probably have these multiple designs everywhere. How
Well,
long would it take to do something like that when you hand draw? Like if you were to hand paint this, how would you do that?
I mean, that would truthfully probably be like a 7 to 14 day project behind you just because of the amount of detail and the scale of it.
Right.
Um, because we draw it onto the wall and then we paint after the fact. And, for example, there are layered icons. So,
Hmm.
um, all that it just takes a lot of time. Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. You know, I love it. Everybody thinks I'm nuts, but I just think it's amazing. I love the story behind this. So every single thing up there represents something in my life. So I have Molly and Winnie, my two favorite chickens. Unfortunately, Molly isn't with us anymore.
Hmm.
Lemons are part of my daily. I drink one every day and I love lemons. I love the smell of them. I love the taste of them. I think they're amazing. Many of the flowers are either favorites that are personal or from my grandmother's favorites list, and a couple that are a favorite of my daughters. And in that, there were so many more ideas we had, but we had to stop somewhere. My butterfly brain can just keep on going, as these ladies know. So the creative, we're going to pour some of the beautiful images that you've created on this interview. We share the video with our audience on YouTube so they'll see your work, my dear. I'd love to talk about Karen Daly for a minute. I'm sure you do this for many, many people, but you stepped into a nonprofit organization that's doing a major fundraising event. You want to talk a little bit about that with everybody and how you ended up with the inspiration because it's brilliant. We're going to throw it up so people can see it. Brilliant, brilliant. So cool.
Yeah. So we were introduced to Karen Daly through Carrie Ann, and she is just this dynamic, wonderful woman who's grandson was diagnosed with epilepsy. And, you know, as she learned more about the disease and living with the disease and that sort of thing, you know, the facts were pretty astounding to her as well as to us.
Right.
And, you know, I think everyone has heard of epilepsy, but I don't think many people truly know about it and how many people it actually affects. And once we started learning more about it, we were like, wow, we really want to be involved in this. And the goal of the partnership was to get people to be aware and how to help people when they do have an epileptic seizure.
Mhm.
And you know, they've had this booth at the state fair, and it's how do they actually bring people into the booth? Because when you're at the state fair, you're not thinking about like learning about a disease. I think it's something that
Right.
is a heavier thing, but how do you get people to want to approach the booth? So we created a pattern inspired by epilepsy, as well as hoping that it would draw everyone into the booth, as well as want to take the merch and the instructive pamphlets kind of a thing home with them and keep them.
Right.
Um, like, could people have a scrunchie or a bag or something with this pattern on it that reminded them all the time to, you know, look out for people that might be seizing and then wanting to help them kind of a thing.
Right.
Uh,
So cool. And it was beautiful. It's a beautiful pattern. Gorgeous.
thank you.
So where do you think that's all going to lead in terms of where is this pattern going to be seen now post that event? Do you see it playing out into something further for the organization?
We've had a lot of talks with them about merchandise or like products that they could give away or sell. Um, we talked a lot about like bagoo bags, like bags that would people would get groceries in, kind of a thing. We
Oh,
really tried hard to get like amazing visors made for the state fair. We're like, everyone should have this amazing purple visor. Everyone would want one, kind of a thing. So we really like hats, we like scrunchies. You know, we were trying to think of things that people would literally use every day and think were cool. He was really big on chip clips.
yeah.
Everyone loves the chip clip, like as funny as it is, but if there was a chip clip with this pattern and you used it daily, you know, just as a reminder for everyone, we really like that idea too.
So let's talk merchandising because it's fairly new for you guys and it just blew up like it's massive. So you're artists and you're creating this wallpaper and you want to be able to leverage all this beautiful art and be able to use it and use the patterns on other kinds of products. And then you started the merchandising piece of it. You want to share with everybody what that looks like and what you're doing with that because you can do pretty much anything.
Yeah, we have a whole long list of goods we'd like to make. We have made we've partnered with Mott 50 to make swimsuits. We've partnered with, we found a manufacturer to make silk and cotton pajamas. We are going to be partnering with Jean V, which is like a high-end maker of wool and cashmere out of India,
Oh,
woman owned.
yeah.
And we will be making some pillows for sure, possibly some additional pajamas, and other goods with them as well. So, yeah, we're not giving up on the wallpaper and fabric. We're about to launch a floral collection for wallpaper and fabric, and we're right now we've placed an order to start selling all of the fabric on our website as well, as opposed to having it be custom printed for everyone.
Amazing.
Yeah, we really just want to cover the world in our art.
Yeah, it's
What's
just
the best way
amazing.
to do it? You know, what do people like? What do people want? What do we want? Um,
So what is real so people understand there's the custom component that you offer and it's brilliant and amazing and highly crafted and very much about the creation of an image or an idea that the client has and they bring you in so you can create it for them, approve it and then put the installation together. Then you've got all this beautiful work that the two of you have done and you've already pre-produced it. So people can come to you, go through a list of patterns on your website and make a wallpaper order just like they would at a fabric store or a paint wallpaper location, right? They can just order it right there and you put the dimensions in, and you have installer recommendations. You want to share a little bit about that? Because people say, okay, I have this wallpaper, I have this room, now what?
Yeah, I mean, we've done the homework and found a few people in town that we really, really enjoy working with that have, always made our clients happy, that we're happy to pass on to anyone who needs it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then as far as our shop on our website, you're exactly right. There are some rolls of wallpaper, and because of the amount that we order up front, that price point is a bit lower, and you can just order a roll and it ships the next day. It should be to you within 5 days, kind of a thing. We also have a bunch of patterns on our website that are pre-created, and you just order it per yard. So the yardage will come delivered to you as well in about 3 weeks. So just easy options if you don't want to go through this whole custom process. In
Mm-hmm.
addition to that, if you see a pattern on our website that you love, but your living room, for example, needs emerald green instead of the mauve that we have shown, you can call us and we can recolor it for you. And then order the custom fabric, no problem.
So let's say you do a creation for a client and you post it. So you're do a lot of Instagram. You'll find By SheShe on Instagram. You can follow all their beautiful images on all their gorgeous projects. And they're inspired by something they see. Can they come to you and say, I loved this dining room with this pattern. Can you do that for me? Can I have that same design? Is that when you do a custom design, is it owned by you and the client, and can it be reproduced?
So she owns the rights to all of their patterns.
Okay.
If you see a custom design, in someone else's home that we've done in the past, technically we own it, but we would never print it without asking that client.
Right.
They are part of the creation process, even though it's not their hand
Right.
that's actually creating the artwork. It's their memories, and a lot of their ideas are personal and infused into it. So we've
Right.
had some clients that are like, honestly, I just want it to be for me, and we're
Mhm.
okay with that. I mean,
Absolutely.
um, we've had other clients be like, that's so cool. Yeah,
Ah,
absolutely. Print it.
yeah.
Um,
Super
so
cool though that you do that, right? I mean,
yeah.
the point is you can do something so crafted and personal and know that that's all yours to have. Or if you're a creative that does collaboration and you come up with this design that you think many are going to love and it works that way. I just think that is such an innovative way to create art and be able to share it with the world. I just think that's amazing. I love
Oh,
the
thank
idea.
you.
It's such a great concept. It really is. So, when did you start? How many years has it been now?
Oh my gosh, we lose track all the time. People always ask us this question, and we're
Yeah.
like, how many years has it been? I think it's been about 7.5-ish.
Hmm.
I, yeah, it's been quite the wild ride. It's been a lot of fun.
So, you know what they say, my dear, every 7 years, we women kind of retransform ourselves. We go through kind of like a butterfly, we shift and change. So, if you were to compare where you were at 7 years ago to right now today, what was the major
I
growth
mean,
aha moment?
everything in my life is completely different than it was 7 years ago. Like completely, completely different. Um, I
That's
mean,
so
I was single.
cool.
Now I'm living in my own house in a cool bungalow in South Minneapolis. And now I'm married with a 2-year-old and living in the suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like completely different worlds. I golf, I like do all sorts of things I was not doing back in the day.
That's great
Um,
though.
one of the biggest, Kate and I both recently have bought new homes. And like I said earlier, we had our walls, our rooms in our last homes, they were kind of our guinea pigs, and we did a lot of installs just to learn the process. And then also just because we were like, I want a dining room full of chandeliers. Like, let's do it. Let's make it happen. And we both have moved on from those places and like left all of this history and art permanently installed in the homes.
Yeah.
And, we're both now doing it to our new homes. And I think Kate and I just have this weird connection where we like our life changes at the same time, kind of in the same way. And it has been happening, for the last 7 years to each of us. So these new homes, it's really exciting to me to like both of us to be going through it together again. We're redesigning these things, and we're creating new art for them together.
That's awesome. Love
Yeah,
that. Love that. And congratulations. Being a mom is a great thing.
it,
It brings a layer of, time
yeah.
management. I always ask on every interview, Jenny, I ask the same question. What is the balance as your life has evolved and changed? And now you're a new mother with a 2-year-old, and you've got a home and a husband, and you've got this career. How do you find work-life balance? How does that work for you?
I think the work-life balance is good. Again, I mean, there's a lot of working after hours and that kind of thing, but your priorities shift. So, my extra time was spent doing other things before I had her.
Hmm.
Um, the going out to eat and the seeing friends has definitely taken quite a big hit. And it's more, playing with her and spending nights in, but those are good too.
Hmm.
So I think it's okay.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a segment
Good.
of life like people when they forget that in time management, as we're growing, we're pulling different levers. I call it. All of the levers are up there on the board. The entertaining, the dinners, the plays, the concerts. Then child rearing and play dates and school, raffle carnivals. And then you've got sports and you've got the growth that happens in the business and all those things where you add time. You might choose to table some things that'll come organically back in and woven back into life again. It's personal choice to find personal balance. Um, it's not one answer for everybody. It's not a blanket statement. It's figuring out how you can completely fill your soul with the things that you love. And those things are ever changing, right? Depending on where you're at in life. I think
Right.
you've done a beautiful job balancing it all out because that's a lot in that window of time. Like you've had massive growth in 7 years, massive growth.
It does feel that way.
Are you doing national work now? Are you starting to see people coming in from all over? Really could be global for you, right? Could be anywhere. You could
Yeah.
hire anyone anywhere, which is cool. In fact, you're
Yeah.
traveling internationally as part of this. You go out on a trip to be inspired to bring back ideas. You just
Yes,
did
we
that
did
this year.
just a couple years ago we took an inspiration trip to Curacao, the island of Curacao. We had taken some inspiration trips in the past, like we went to Hawaii and we went to San Francisco, and um we always made patterns based on those trips together. And we were like, where, but they kind of like happened organically. Like we had to go there for some reason and we tagged along for,
Right.
um, where could we go? What would be cool? Like, let's do this again. And we picked Curacao because, the buildings are incredibly colorful in their downtown area. And we thought, if SheShe were to design a city, it might look a little bit like this. Like
Yeah.
when we saw the pictures of it, we didn't know anyone who'd been there, or like we just like completely randomly picked it.
Oh, cool.
And we made a couple different patterns based off of our trip, and have done some partnerships with a couple different companies with those patterns. And Curacao, we never like talked to Curacao about it, but they found us online, and we recently were able to give away a trip to Curacao. We just picked the winner last week.
Oh,
Um, to
wow.
go have like the SheShe experience in Curacao. So I don't know, it's just kind of like a dream come true to be able to partner
How
with
cool.
different countries and create art. And I mean, how it's just fabulous. So we'd love to do it again.
I'm so glad we brought it up because the dynamic and diverse ecosystem you've developed is highly impressive and motivational, for any woman out there that's looking to find their niche and has an entrepreneurial spirit. I can see no better inspiration than your stories. I think that it's just so, so cool. So before we leave you today, and I can't wait to show everybody your work and share your website and your Instagram page, what would you want everyone to know about By SheShe and how you can inspire anybody? Anyone can be a part of your ecosystem, regardless of the complexity of the project.
Wow, that's a bold question. Well, we started Shishi with this idea of like acceptance and art and love and travel and just trying to fuel our lives with things we love and turning it into a living.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that because we took a lot of time and said, what do we want out of life? We're at this turning point in our life. If we could have anything, what would we want? And we came up with these lists that had a lot in common, each of
Mm-hmm.
our individual lists. So I think staying focused on like what truly makes you tick
Mm-hmm.
and then making a life designed after that, I think is a key component of success emotionally and, actually for a job.
Right.
Um, I think that our happiness comes through when all those things are lined up. And
Mm-hmm.
like the best designs come through when all those things are lined up. So staying focused on just like what makes you happy and then going hard in that direction. Um, that's my advice for
That's
everyone.
great advice. That is great advice, my dear. Yeah, there's no better way to say it than what you just did right there. And that's exactly what you and Kate did. You just went for it and you've designed something that's absolutely remarkable. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Mhm. Everybody, Jenny, by SheShe. We can't wait to share the images and the creations by SheShe. If you have any questions, we'll have the website and contact information. YouTube will have the video. Thank you so much for being with us today. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. This has been great.
Thank you, Jenny. You have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.